not, I don't have a lot of rights. So basically, what I want from everyone is to be able to document it, document those issues. And then we'll try again and we'll see, you know, but at least everybody in your group will try. Okay. And what else do I need? So it even says here, a warning, the content of this meeting is being sent to the third party. That third party is whom? The third party is YouTube, is Google YouTube. By staying in this meeting, you consent to sharing your information, including audio and video. Users with access to the third party can watch, and that's the advantage. In our Zoom of Blackboard, who can view it? Because this is what we're always talking about, roles. Who can see this Zoom right now through Blackboard is whom, Sophie?
The people in the class.
Those that are registered, or those that I've given permission, or those that I've given this link to, right? But it's not open in the World Wide Web at all. So as a matter of fact, I'm going to invite some guest speakers. Hopefully, next week. I'm doing a panel on generative AI and augmented reality and virtual reality, and I have 3 panelists. And what I thought is to have each of them, you know, come to the classes and to show what they're doing in that aspect. Sophie, they can't come into, they're not registered, so I have to give them the link to this class. Also, what I need to do is when we go to YouTube, I can give them the YouTube live, and they can have others maybe in their company or their potential clients. Or one person is a former student of mine. He's selling his product to airlines, to American Airlines. So it may be, and he's like in a bidding situation right now. So maybe giving him some clout that he's, you know, presenting this to the University of Miami. So he could share, I could share the YouTube link with him, and they could participate, right, Sophie, outside of it and view it. And then they could put some comments. Okay, so I'm linking here. So welcome, I want to welcome this fantastic class. And those of you, Ben and some others, your face, and Sophia Alexandra, if you can, you look so comfy, right? But if we can see your entire face, and Jack, it's kind of like a little bit, and Alejandro as well. Let's set up our cameras that we can see each other pretty well. Okay. Any comments or questions before I begin? Michael Russo wanted me to view what he's done already and give him feedback. So I told him group 5, I'll use it as an example to review. I thank you, Michael, for extending your group to look at it. And if anybody else wants me to look at their group as a sample for everyone to see, I'll be able to do that. But my business today is, let's just go through some of the housekeeping chores, and then we'll talk about our assignment. We'll talk about data, how data is being used, and answer any questions that you have. So let's do this. I have recorded to YouTube. I've recorded to the cloud in Zoom. I've set up my Loom, L-O-O-M, and I'm ready to go. So let me just share my screen. And I'm sharing. This is the Zoom. I can move some of this out of the way. And I can go to my Chrome. And immediately on my Chrome, right, Michael, we can see yourself. And what's the difference, Michael, in YouTube versus live? Is you can see there's a delay. You can see when I'm speaking, it kind of highlights. It's nice that it kind of highlights it and says that you can see you pulled already back your hair and your hoodie there. And if you want to speak,
Yeah.
it's interesting. It takes speak a little bit because you see it's that
Very
delay.
delayed. It's very delayed. Yeah.
It's very delayed. So when for the talking heads, it doesn't matter, right? But if
Yeah.
we were really doing something real time, we need to do it. Think about what's your major?
Supply chain.
Supply chain. So think about if we were doing anything that we wanted to look at exactly real time what was happening in the field.
Yeah.
We need to do it. A lot of times, even Sedge, what's interesting is like on the stock market, right? If I do what they call, in this case, if I'm doing basically high frequency trading, this would not be sufficient, right? Because look how many seconds when I blink my eye, try to blink your eyes, in high frequency trading, millions of trades are going through. So what they want is they want the server not even to be on the internet sometimes. What they want is the server right next to, let's say, NASDAQ, and be so small. Google now is doing a project with billions of dollars with some of these firms to say, hey, we got to reduce that latency. And you can see it so far. Look how much it is that I'm presenting it. Okay, great. So you can see for the advantage for our class, it really doesn't matter that much. We're not doing anything. So I got, in this case, we'll do attendance, of course, later. If I go to what's due, let me just turn this off. So I see the same thing you do. Is we see this Wednesday, the Wiley Plus adaptive assignment is due. Everybody knows how to do the quiz. TG1 is found. Any problems? And then the Zoom collaboration exercise is due. And here are the exercises to do. I can go into the assignment and quizzes. And I can see this, what happened here. I don't know why this turned hidden. Right, and then I should have exercises, right, where I have the Zoom individual exercises here. Okay, and then I have, of course, you saw before, I have the Wiley Plus, and you can see on the hardware, which is due on Wednesday, when I go to the hardware adaptive assignment, and I open an assignment, I have a different role, right? In this case, Sophie, I have a different role as instructor versus you. So I'm seeing it that only 8 people that it's due on Wednesday, 8 people have completed it, 1's in progress, and 30 haven't started. So basically they tell me nobody's struggling. So they're trying to be a little adaptive. I, as an instructor, giving me information that may help me, that I say, okay, let's help with the struggling, those that have completed it, find out from the other ones why they didn't. And then I can go individually, I can drill down to, they say 39 students, right? And I see that Claudia, Destiny, Corey, Caden, Sophie, Sophia, all my Sophs, and then Aiden, Isabel, and Jay have completed, right? And you can see there's different time amount because they say that it's supposed to be in the LMS is due. Okay, so I need to make this available. They said there's a problem here. So under, I don't want student view. Let me. Basically, if I think about open assignment, let's fix it now. When I look at options and I want to edit assignments, look how slow it is because it's what? It's their cloud, right? It's telling me the next step. I want to do the hardware, which is next step. I want to set a due date. And they allow me to assign it to an individual student, like to Gary, or to the entire class. And if I do next, and I can give it then a due date of what, tomorrow? And let's say that we want it before class. So you don't want to wait till the end because you know what happens. Their server gets down, right? So we'll do it at 6:30 p.m. and we save it. Okay, so at least we got that part done. We know that that has done and we save. Perfect. And then we know we have that part. We have the what's due. So we know the Wiley Plus, the quiz, and then the Zoom collaboration exercise is due. So where is that going to be? We have two roles. One role right now, in this case, Cole, what is your user status in this section right now in our traditional section? What is your user status? Or what is your role in this section? Cole.
My user status?
Mm-hmm. My user status right here, my role is instructor. What do you think yours is? What do you think? If I go to
Am I a
users,
Am I a student?
I think so. No? So see
think
how
so.
everybody, the student role, and basically Dylan right here that I have basically some roles, right? And then if I look for, right, Michael, if I look for Cole Rossi, right? Just you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so your student role. So what does that mean? Who cares? And notice Sarah Rushanek is instructor, right? And Spencer Shields is teaching assistant. Who cares?
I'm
Remember
assuming you have more.
you remember we talked about data, and we talked about data when we give permission in information systems about any data in our system. It's what? The need to know. You remember? Anytime we talk about it in data, we have the need to know is the basis. I give you access to the data that you need to know. Cole, do you need to know your grades in this class?
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do. Do you need to know the grades of other students in this class?
No.
No, you don't need to know it. Sometimes I give you the average and so forth. You don't need to know that, right? But do I need to know all the grades in the student's class? Yes. Do I need to know, Cole, your grades in other classes?
No.
Maybe if I were your advisor, I would need to know, right? So I'll get access. But the role that I play as a professor, you're registered to my own class. That's the only thing I need to know. I don't need to know any of your, I don't need to know your past work. I don't need to know your future, your other classes in this class. That's the data they need to know. So always we're going to look at data. We're going to talk about roles. And you always want to give permission based on the need to know. You don't want to give too much and you don't want to give too little. Because then what? I can't do my job. One thing I really have issues with the administration of IT is they make it so difficult sometimes for me to do my job that that they restrict me when there's no need to restrict me. And I'll give you an example today. So those are roles that we have in Blackboard. Since it's learning, it's called an LMS. It's a learning management system. I give basically the roles are what? The highest role is, it basically is one of the roles is instructor, and then it's teaching assistant. And then there's, let's say, student. And I can even make it granular that I can make a teaching assistant only doing grading. Or I can make a teaching assistant only putting in material. I can even make it, or I can give a teaching assistant the same basically ways to be my assistant that they can actually do everything that I can do. The only thing a teaching assistant, Daniel, cannot do is they cannot eliminate me, Daniel. Did you know that?
Yeah.
You cannot delete me from a course. That's all. You can do everything. If I give you a teaching assistant capabilities, you can do everything but delete me from the course. That's why I
Can't
make
you
myself
also restrict the teaching assistant if you don't want him to see some
Yes.
some things?
I can make even, I can do granular that I can say,
Yeah.
you're not going to do grading, or I can say that you're not going to be able to do certain opportunities there. Yes. Very good. So you can see here, that's the roles. And what I want to do is that's why I've made 2 sections to this course. And in this case, if I made those 2 sections of this course, Caden, the first section is you as a student, right? You see your grade, you don't see anyone else. I'm able to upload, I'm able to create, I'm able to delete. You don't have those access. Makes sense, right, Caden? Every other class you were there. But what's important is I want, in this class, since we're talking about technology, is I want you to give you other roles. But so I don't want you to interfere with my first section. I want to maintain integrity, right, Caden? So I made a second section. I am not an administrator of Blackboard, so even I cannot create a second section. Do you understand that, Caden? I'm limited by instructor. They say, you know what, Dr. Rush, you can create where it's in Cane Link, you have certain sections that were assigned to you. You cannot create other sections that you're not assigned to. So they're giving me permission. I have to go to the administrator of Blackboard to say, create another section for me. Take all the students, how would I say that, Caden? Need to give them exact instructions and say, take all users and transfer them to what? A new section and promote them to what? Katie,
Promote them to uh student, or why would it be teaching assistant?
have you used the audit area?
Yeah, I have.
Can you upload? Can you change
Yeah,
things? Can you make
yeah.
a group?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. That's great, Kaden. You're thinking right now. Yeah is a good sign. Right?
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Right. And the next time I would ask you, if somebody said student, you could, of course, it's not student. When you think about it, right? Why
Mhm.
waste our time?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, right. And that's why I want you to be there, that you kind of see you can't create a group
Mm-hmm.
in the first section.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is Caden, a student tried to get in on last week when we created the section and went to the audit area and tried to get in through Zoom. They couldn't find their regular section anymore.
Yeah, because they're two separate.
They're two separate, and they kept on saying, I'm freaking out. I can't get into Zoom. They made a mistake all of a sudden, and they could figure out all of a sudden I'm a teaching assistant. I'm not a teaching assistant. I don't even know this material. Why did they make a mistake?
Yeah.
So that's where I want to show you in this case.
Okay.
What I want is that Zoom then says has two different versions. It has a free version, said, right? And it has a paid
Yeah.
version.
Yep.
I like free. You'll see, I just love stuff free. You know what I mean? But the idea, and if I can try out new software, I don't like to pay for software that I don't know that I can see that is valuable to me. And sometimes I don't even like to try out free software because I don't know, I don't like to take my time unless it's going to be useful for me. So the free version basically limits you the time if you have more than 2 people. They make changes to Zoom, but they also say some features are valuable. Let's have it be paid. Give it to everybody free. And once they get hooked on it, right, we can have the paid version. So for this class, like we spoken before, Sej, is I don't want you to pay, you pay enough
Yeah.
in your time and sweat if we can take advantage of what the university can provide. Just like I said, the subscriptions to Wall Street Journal and New York Times, we get that as part of being part of the university. Let's take advantage of it. And just like the zoom.miami.edu is a professional enterprise version that the university has a subscription for. They pay for it based on our tuition, based on other things, that this is valuable for them. They have the professional version. And only in that professional version, one of the characteristics that most people aren't even aware of is that you can stream live while you're in Zoom. They've made a connection with a number of companies, including Google, to say, while you're in Zoom, they want to keep you in Zoom. They want to keep you in their milieu. They want to keep you in their network. So they say you can then also record in Zoom and also record stream live to YouTube. And we'll give you unlimited time with multiple participants. You got it? Perfect. So everybody now knows I have access to users and groups because I can change here users and groups, and I can change status. So if I looked at, for instance, Natty, are you here? Maybe not. Okay. So Ben, are you here? Ben Pellets?
Wait, no, I'm here.
Good, Natty, good. So on Natty, in this case, notice I could change user's role in the course. You see that? And I can change users' availability in the course. And I can remove users from the course. Do you think you could do it in this section? Have that capability? In your role as a student, Natty?
I don't know.
Okay, but think about it. You don't know, but should you? Should you be able to promote yourself to teaching assistant that you could change grades in the regular
Oh,
section?
no.
Oh, no,
No.
right? It's just like when anyone else was thinking about it, right? When you think about it, first we say, I don't know, and then we kind of do what? A second time and ask ourselves questions, right? Would it make sense that you could change not only your grade, but everybody else's grade? You know that person you don't like in the class? Give them a D, right? You give it A++ if there's 2 pluses, right? Of course not. So this is only available to those that have higher status. Makes sense, right? So at this point, this is what we can do here. Now, if I go back and go to Blackboard, and you can go and log in with my Kane ID because they think what do they think? That this should be protected, that this should be noticed. They have my name, they have all my universities, right? And then if I go to my courses, these courses apply to me. You have different courses, but at this point, I have K audit that I've given the name audit. So you could differentiate because you can audit it. You could even look, you could look at other students. So at this point, if I go to audit, and do you have something then, Joshua, that says users and groups? Do you have access to that? Look on the side and look all the way down on user management.
Yes.
Yes, you don't have that available when you're in the original one that you're a student because they don't want to have you have access to users and change everybody's status. But here, click on users. Do you see yourself?
Yeah.
What's your role?
Teaching assistant.
Teaching assistant. And right there, right? So it's basically teaching assistant right there. So you have you have more what? Availability that you can make.
Yeah.
Now when I go to groups, I have not, what group are you in?
I'm in group 8.
Group A. Okay, and what's this Zoom recording right here? Anybody want to tell me? Do you think it should be here? Joshua?
No, it shouldn't.
Shouldn't. So whoever it is basically made a mistake. Now, one of the things I want to tell you here is what we want to do, and my goal here.
I have a question.
Yeah,
As a group, do we only submit one Zoom?
I'll
meeting
go over
video?
in a minute. I appreciate it. I'll go over in a minute. But let's even just start with this one. What I want at this point is I want to create, we have a lot of data here, and what I want to do is automate a lot of data that the computer can process without me having to do a lot of busy work. So when I look at data many times as data that the computer software can read and manipulate. So the data has to come in what I call clean data. And clean data means error-free. A lot of times they'll call it dirty data, and a lot of times in the SEDGE, a lot of times when they're doing data transformation, a lot of times they spend the most time just cleaning the data, not to making it error-free.
Yeah.
So there's basically, when I think about data is basically set the hierarchy of data. The hierarchy of data is that usually a record is considered like a row. So if you think about a spreadsheet and you think about that spreadsheet as a table, you can think about each record or each row in it is called a record. And each column, let me just put this as the word next to it, each field or item, you can view it as a column. And each group then we can schedule. In our case is we want each record is a student, and that entire group then becomes grouped together, where we have the primary key that's unique. In this case, it may be email, and the users, you could see it was C number. And basically I have fields, for instance, first name, last name, email, and phone number. So we want, in this case, to have it as each, you can see here that from one field to another, we have a space. That's called a delimiter. So if we think about data, comparing in this case, is we have delimiters basically separate fields, or what I call items. So now if I looked at it, what do I have here is, notice what I would try to do here is, you can see if I wanted the computer then to take this, I could export this to Excel, and I probably would want to be consistent. Notice sometimes we have the number with no dashes. Sometimes we have it with parentheses, our area code. Sometimes we have it with dashes, like group 2. So I would make it that your group at least is consistent. So we can see here that we're pretty much, we're not in group 1, we're not consistent because McKay has spaces, this doesn't. So if we define our data, what our data will look like, what's going to be the problem is we may, why is it important maybe to differentiate the area code is maybe then we can see if there's errors in it. So for instance, if something had 305 and it stated it was in New York, maybe then we would know that there's a problem. So I'd like you to be consistent in your group, decide within your group. And then, for instance, group 1 has an extra line there. The computer would think maybe that's an error. So just clean it, as I say, clean up your data. That's all. But for the most part, we're really good here. The other thing is this Zoom recording, whoever is responsible for that needs to be, I don't want to take it away, but needs to be deleted. So Michael, you asked for me to look at your group. So I know always to the left is a folder, which is good. I have this telling me that I have the data applied so we could bring it into a spreadsheet or something like that where we could automate it later on. I could go into group 5 and already I see this is really great that I have a folder here, individual and Zoom requirements. And then he's not finished, he told me, but the idea he's told me, everybody who's attended the Zoom session, recording, the key points, learn how to record to the cloud and computer and live stream, how to perform remote, enable, how to interact, which is great. He tells me all the types. He needs to fill out the channels, some solutions he got, very good. And he'll fill it, and their group will fill it in later. And already, this is after the fact, right? Because even though some of you have filled this out saying these people are in my group, they may not continue to be in my group, or they weren't for the group assignment. Then I'm going to answer the questions. Then if I click on this, each person, and this is Michael, in this case, Wessels, what I'd like to do is, what did I say? That each recording should have a password or not a password? Cole, should be password protected or not password protected? Do you remember?
Not password protected.
Not password protected. So already, this is probably because in the settings, you can say recordings in Zoom. If I go to Miami right? If I go to Miami, if I go to Zoom, if I go to Zoom Miami.edu, right? It asks me, I have to enter the Duo, right? All my I have to do it. So if I enter my code, this changes all the time, so I don't mind recording. And it says I'm success. I feel like I did something right. I'm successful. Okay, and then if I go to my settings here, you can see that you'll be able to go to your settings and go to the recordings of your settings and take that off. So once I go to this, I already know, right, Cole, you even know that this needs to be off, because why? If I want to go click on and see it quickly, I don't want to bother putting in a password. Each of you should have a personal, when you were asking me, each of you should have a personal recording without a password, showing how you develop especially your streaming to YouTube. And you probably could even have two, one, the recording of yourself, and another recording of even your YouTube. Now, in this case, what is this group reflection? Whose is this? This is yours, Russo? Is this your group?
Yeah, that's our second recording.
Okay, what
discussing,
is
our
it?
Challenges.
So
Is there not a link in there? Can you click on that?
it may be, well, let's look at it. Can I edit it? Do I have permission to edit it? Sure do. So you have to be careful on that. So in the group recording, I don't know, see here, it's the MP4. You recorded it, I guess, as
Oh yeah, that's our
as
video.
the edit file. What I would do is I would put it, edit file, I would put it as this is great. It's like great rehearsal. Russo, it's a great rehearsal, because what I would do, instead of uploading it as a file, put it in your notes, guys. Try uploading it as an item. Because if let me go back. If I go in, what I can do is when I go to item, choose item, see where I can give it a name. Right here, what I like is I have here where I can write reflections. And then I can even put the URL of the recording. Because I'd like to see the URL of the recording. So what I would do is take that reflections. You already have it as a file. You can also, you see here, browse local files. So it looks like you recorded it to what? When I look at this right away, he had an MP4 file, so it looks like what? If I were to guess, then Russo, it's what? I don't know how you recorded. Was it that you recorded
I
it
I recorded it
to
on
the
the
computer?
I
Right,
just
you can see
resubmitted it.
that. So
So
that's not even bad. You can say recorded as what? As to the computer. That's the good part, that you can upload, but you can decide here. But what I would do, instead of doing the file, giving you feedback here, I would, and going to group 5, and in the sessions here, I would take this upload it as an item, and then I would do right here just a few sentences that you can see what it was. I can see what it was, and that you can see what it was. Right? That's the beauty. And in this group recording, that's what, it's nice. You have the Zoom and YouTube. I would then go back and edit. You have it as edit item, which is great. Then I would put in here, what was this about? And what did you do? What did we discuss, and so forth? So later on, not only for myself, for other students, and even for you, in another week, you can remember at the end of the class, you can remember it. Why bother? And you can give it to other people. Okay. So that's what I'm canceling it right now, but I can do it and say group discussing our Zooming. I would go more details. You know what I mean? Rather than discussing, what did you discuss? Give it like highlights of it. You know what I mean? And what did you find? And group reflection, discussing our Zoom meeting, recorded in the cloud, right? It's not recorded in the cloud. It's recorded on the computer, right? Because it's an MP4 file. And maybe even put a little bit differences of what's the difference between what's the advantage of having an MP4 file. Kind of giving little notes that you see it. And in Michael Wessel's the same thing. I put individual, and what did you discuss here? How to do YouTube, and if you had issues, you know, I had to wait 24 hours. Zoom, YouTube is telling me I need to have 50 subscribers. Whatever issues you're having, you'll put it here. And already Michael Wessel knows that he doesn't want to do password protected, so unprotected in your settings. All the time. Anytime you submit to me as a group, as an individual, you're always unprotected. Because we're not doing anything that needs to be protected. But you know that later on you can do password if need be. Ours is open. We're in the audit group that everybody can see. And you're saying what the password is. So it definitely isn't. Does that help? Russo?
yeah, thank you for the feedback.
Yeah. And you're really on a roll. You know what I mean? Anyone, you know, that you can, you know what I mean? Can I look at yours, Sophie? Greenfield.
Yeah,
So if I look at theirs, I have Sophie, Isabel, Tej, and Corey. Right? Already excellent. Who's attended? Key points learned. Excellent. Excellent, because you can see, hey, this is what we did. And then somebody says, you know what? I don't know how, I forgot how to create polls. So later on, it'd be nice that you could even, what I like is in Zoom, which I'm going to try to get the university to turn on, Sophie, is they have something called AI Companion, where it can set up, AI tries to set up chapters. So instead of going through an entire Zoom, it'll set up chapters where maybe there'll be a separate chapters for creating polls, a separate chapter for enable live transcript. Excellent. And the challenges, blah, 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 and how we got solutions. Perfect. And then on the Zoom individual exercises, the Zoom collaboration exercises, the individual part, this is where I would add, Sophie, the same thing that I told group 5. Explain a bit, what are you doing on these? It's excellent that it's not password protected, but what's happening in the individual part? What did you show here? The group recording, I would also put in this case, if we look at it, I would put it in also, instead of edit file, what's the difference between edit file in Blackboard and edit item? So let me just put this in. And none of us are born with this stuff, right? Blackboard, difference between file and item. The idea why I like to use item is item can add description. So it does basically the same as file, but you can add descriptions, which I really like. You like it too, because 1, you can show off what you've done. 2, you basically can make sense for everyone in the class too. And you get good habits that when you work anywhere where you're going to send somebody a file, they say, what is this all about? So just do this, the same thing. I give you feedback, Sophie, which is great that it's not due until Wednesday, is edit it as an item. And then you have, because here you have no space to write. And I don't need to see another document. You know, we're keeping it short and sweet. And then later on, we can even give it to ChatGPT or something. Once we give it something, we can give it to some of the audience, and then they can be, we'll work out it later, where they can be part of our team, you know, and we can even have ChatGPT talk to Bard, and we can have other ones that we're talking to each other and to improve it. So I would do the same thing on our Zoom collaboration exercise, the group recording, do the same thing, make it as an item, put the URL that we can see it and what was covered here. And then the same thing with Isabel. Now you know it, that you need to go back under the settings and change that you do not want passwords. It's like we rehearsed it. Thank you, Isabel. It's like we rehearsed how to make differences. Anyone else want me to look at theirs? Call out.
Yeah, Professor, could you look at mine, group 9?
Yeah, sure. So we're giving it, it's kind of like, away. So if I got group 9, what do I have to look at? I have to look at everybody's in the same format. Perfect, that the computer then can read it, though. Is everybody in the same format? Said.
No, not yet.
No, so that's what we want to do. What's the reason? And then all of a sudden we have dashes sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
Let's keep it as delimiters. What? Spaces as
Did you,
delimiters.
Did you mention the formatting on group 5?
Did I mention it?
Yeah, it's like flipped.
You're right. Excellent. Extra credit. Did you see that group 5? I didn't even notice it. You see that, Michael Russo? Yes?
What am I supposed to be seeing?
Group 5. Look at group 5.
What about
And-
it is flipped?
Like it's phone number and then email, as opposed to email then phone number. So
Right.
if she were to put those all in a
Oh.
database, it would be all flipped.
Who said that?
Okay.
That was me, Daniel.
You see that? Excellent. And then here in group 8, we have someone without a number. Thank you so much. And then group 9, Sophia, you see this? Without an email? You see that, Sej?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know what her email was, so
Yeah, but I'm
that's
just
my bad.
telling you that no big shakes, but
Okay, my bad.
you know what I mean? No big shakes. That's why, can everybody in your group edit it? Sure.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So you don't have to do it, right? And so in this case, then Zoom collaboration. So what is this? So this is going to be for everyone. So this is it. So you can tell me what are the improvements that need to be.
Okay. So I just figured out now with the whole item thing. So I'm
Yeah.
actually
Okay. So
I'm,
go back. That's it. No
so
big
I'm
deal.
changing that so it'll just say Zoom collaboration exercise. If you go ahead and click on
No,
that.
what I would rather have is this is individual or this is for this is for the group.
This is the group recording is at the bottom, the right the
Okay, so what I would do instead is go and look at like the other group where each person would submit their own Zoom collaboration. So so look at the group. Let me just even in doing this, right? If I look what other group did I see here, even in Sophie's where right
Professor, that link on YouTube was also invalid.
on whose?
The last one you were on.
Okay.
It was from like the internal Zoom transfer, I guess. Like it wouldn't work if you put it in the
Who,
browser.
my Zoom or the group?
No, the
I
group
think
that
it's
you were just
mine.
looking at. Yeah.
I copy and pasted the stream URL.
Okay, so once it's there,
Like
so
that
if
would
I
work
look at,
on your computer, but not on anyone else's computer.
yeah, so
It's
like
not the
this
public.
one, if I look at, right, this is my YouTube live, copy this one. Or when I'm
Oh.
doing
So
my
yours,
Zoom,
oh,
I have
yours
it
said
set to private.
rtmp.youtube.
I have it set to private right now.
okay, that's okay for right now. Okay. But let's go see that.
So would I
Perfect.
have to set it to public for
Yeah.
you to be able to see it?
For me to do it, right?
Or
Yeah.
unlisted.
Or unlisted, right? You give the thing, that you're giving me the link.
I know. I just don't want me. I don't
Yeah,
want my
no,
friends
so
to
you
see
can
it.
do it unlisted. Or you can even put
Unlisted
the
is it
link.
doesn't show up in your profile, but if you have the link, then you can see it.
Yeah,
And that's under privacy, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
okay. But
Okay, I'll
I
fix
would
that.
do it, in this case, I would do it in inserting it for everybody. Is like this, the individual,
Mhm.
put have every person do it separate. Like the individual Sophie, she needs this to put as an item, she needs to put the description.
I actually just like I was just working on it like a couple hours ago. I fixed it. So if you click on that the group recordings and reflective summary, if you click on that ejected, it'll say like Sedgwick Uriah, Zoom file, and YouTube.
Okay,
And then like yeah, I was
okay, but we do, okay. But
I
I'm
don't
just
know.
giving you feedback in this part is I would divide since it's YouTube, since it's yours, I maybe would
I'm
definitely take
deleting
out
that.
the passcode. Yeah, take
Yeah,
out,
I'm gonna
but make
delete that.
sure when you just deleting it that somebody can view it, because it may just by you saying passcode and you deleting it, I still make sure that someone else, have other people in your group try it out.
Okay. And
And
could you
when you
click
meet with the group, have everybody try out everybody's links. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Because sometimes you can see it, but no, the outside can't see it.
Okay.
Okay. And then the group of the reflection, it's good. An individual, and then basically your group, and then basically the way that you do it to the cloud, outside the cloud. Just
Okay.
so I just like all the documentation that you can read it, somebody else can view, and they said, I was having difficulty, Sedge, on doing streaming live to YouTube. And then you say, hey, just watch my go to my group, and they don't even have to, in this case, they don't have to ask it, they can read what you've done.
Okay.
But you have to document it. Again, document.
Yep.
And sometimes, and check to see if the links are working.
Okay. All right. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, but it's not only for you, it's for everybody, right? And it's a lot. It's like throwing everybody in the, the kitchen sink there, it's like saying, hey, we're gonna have to, there's no straight answers, things are difficult. And then if you look, you'll see one of the tabs when you go, it says AI companion. And when you go and look at AI companion, you know what you see said is administration, that they blocked it. It wouldn't be great if we learned about AI companion, see what it does well, what it doesn't do well. Where is it going to help us? Where is it going to come out with faulty says? Where is it going to give me, nonsense?
Yeah. Hmm.
And how do we, this is all going to improve, right? Just like the
Yeah.
hallucinations in the beginning. But what's so exciting here is we're in the beginning of this, and it's just going to get so quickly so much better. Questions? Did that help?
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome, but I think it helped everybody. You know what I mean? So for Wednesday, that's what you have. And if you get issues, what do you need to do? You need
Look
to
at
document it.
Google.
But one is ask Google, one is ask all the chats, one is that I'm telling you, ask all of them, but plus document it. This is where I'm getting stuck. And it may not even be your fault, or it may be someone else in the group say, oh, this is what you have to do. Because I had the same problem. That's
Yep.
the beauty, and help each other. Okay, great. So I think we're finished for the evening formally. I'll take attendance, and then I'll stay with anyone that needs additional comments. If Daniel, Sophie, you can stay with me afterwards just for a kind of an overall part, let me know. And now those people that are having more issues, you know that there are other groups that are further along. You can reach out to them as well. And Daniel has volunteered. You have his information. Daniel has kind of done it for the other section, done a great job. So you can run. And Daniel, I appreciate you kind of found little things that we were looking for that later on you want you need to be exact. Again, the computer is not that smart, even though we talk about intelligent, it's expecting, a certain order that we're going to do. Okay, so let me share. Let me take attendance. Stay with me. So is this is audit, which I don't want to be in for attendance, right? So I need to go to attendance. And they're using another company. I have to go to check-in. Let me just end this one. It's currently running. Let me go to check-in, start check-in. 5984. So go ahead, check in. We got the attendance, you know it, and then we'll go into more material next time. We'll cover the hardware issues, what we need to know about hardware. And then we'll take it for there next week. We may have some guest speakers coming. And stay with me if you have any questions.
Okay. Thank you so much, Professor. Have a great night.
You too. Ciao, ciao.
Thank
That
you,
help,
Professor,
Michael?
for the feedback.
Yeah, perfect. You're on a
Thank
roll.
you.
You know what I mean? Very little left. You know what I mean? But you
Yeah.
got it. And you see how it's improving. You know, right? Don't you want it to? See what you've done, and then you can show it to others, later on and quickly.
Hi,
Yeah.
could you
See
take a look
Wednesday.
at my group really quick?
Yeah. Let me
I'm group
just
4.
group 4. I'd be happy to.
Thank you.
Who else do I have here? Okay, so why don't we do this? Let me end check-in. Everybody, Sophie, you've checked in, right? Attendance? Good. And Amelia, you have too.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll just do it together. We'll stop sharing. And then we'll share again. Group 4, you said?
Yes.
Okay. So we know that there's 4 of us here. So the first part, does she fill up the correct, does she have clean data on the first page? Sophie?
I think there's one missing, like a phone
Right.
number.
Yeah, do you see that, Amelia? Cole?
Yes.
Okay, so you gotta get his
Cool. Okay, I'll get him to add his phone number.
number, right? Jot it down, what's missing, right? A lot of it you could figure out too,
Yeah,
right?
I can add it for him too.
Yeah, okay, so you have his number, you can, right, you have his number, you can add that. We don't have
Yeah.
to wait for you on that. Okay. And
Okay.
then what's the problem, Sophie?
Well,
Do I
I
not
mean,
have
I
the
don't know if it's like a big deal, but like I had like the folder that said like the Zoom and then everything was like in
Yeah,
this.
yeah, but definitely this should be within Zoom assignments.
Okay. You want that? Okay, gotcha.
You got it? So you can even look at, Sophie, if you want.
I can move it. Yeah.
Yeah, just move this. You need this in Zoom assignments, right? Where it has it all. This
Yeah.
is what? This is all, everybody together, Amelia?
That's the
That's your
Zoom.
work or is that everybody's work?
That's just the Zoom collaboration is just the URLs.
Of
I'm gonna
whom?
have
Of just you or your
no,
group?
no. Everyone's gonna put it. I texted them all to put their URLs.
Okay, so what you have to do is you want to go into this
That-
one, to the
That
Zoom.
Zoom link is also not a real Zoom link. That's just a link to Zoom.
Mine.
Yeah, that's not the link to the actual video. It's just a link to the Zoom website.
Oh, okay, okay. So I do it
Yeah.
to my video that I make.
If you go into the Zoom link that you posted, or just I think it's miami.zoom.us, and then
Yeah.
you go to recordings and then share, and then just
Okay.
remove the password, that's the link.
But I still would share that in the, like, if you click on in my, sorry, one second. In my I have that. I'm gonna put that link also in my like individual assignment.
And what
Yeah.
you can do, Amelia, is you want other people in your group, when you meet together as a group, you want them to check each other's links.
Okay.
Because sometimes what you have, it's internal. That's not going to work for everyone else.
Okay. So I put my Zoom link in under the Zoom collaboration and under my individual assignment.
Well, what is the link to? Which video?
Well, I haven't made it yet, but like the video I'm gonna make
Oh,
about how to
that's
stream
so
live.
okay. Once you make your individual assignment, then take the link from that and put it in your individual part on Blackboard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The collaboration should be a different recording.
Right.
Yeah, the collaboration we already did. It's in the
Okay.
And where is it?
it's in
Is
the
it
group
here?
Zoom videos. Yeah, click on that.
So make it also put it also the link itself so we can see physically the link as well.
Put the link where that stuff is. Okay.
Yeah, underneath too, the actual link rather than just here. So if I
Okay.
open this in a new tab. What am I
Yeah,
doing?
see, there's a password as well. When
Yeah,
you click on
we
share,
deleted that
yeah.
one.
Okay.
So we added a different one. So I'm gonna delete the one with the password.
Okay.
And what is this?
There one of them is like a video of us explaining everything, and one of them
Okay,
is like
but
talking
do
about
you
like what-
understand what I have to ask you? The same thing like I talked about everything else is rather than just putting, you can put them as links. Let me just add it.
Also, like recording 1 was a cloud recording, so a link, and then recording
Yeah.
2 was supposed to be an actual file on your computer that you upload.
And this one, you see this YouTube group recording? You have a description here. You've made it as a web link, which is fine, right?
Yeah.
But put this so we know that you have it. You can even copy this again.
Put it in the description. Okay.
Yeah, put it in the description, but then also write the description of what you've done,
Yeah.
right? you know, that you can write. In this case, if you want to, the Zoom, but write what you have, you know, or you can do it as an item.
Okay.
But definitely you want to write what it is.
Okay, gotcha.
So for you, for everyone, because here I look at YouTube group, recording to group password. Do you know what they are? Maybe.
Yeah, but
Today,
we'll-
do you know next week? No, I don't. But this is for others, just not for you.
Okay, okay. I got it now, I think. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
You're welcome.
That was very helpful.
And then you
Okay.
can reach out, you know.
Yeah,
Even
I'll let
if,
them know.
and Sophie, she's done a good job. You can even reach out as another fellow classmate.
Okay, I will. Thank you
Sophie,
so
is that
much.
okay?
Yep, that's a lot. That's good. That's
Yeah,
helpful.
you know what I mean? So we can do that. Perfect.
Okay,
But you
thank
come a
so
long
much.
way, you know what I mean? It seems like you're kind of like the group leader and you got to herd the cats, right?
Yeah. Okay, have a good night. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
bye-bye. Okay. Stop sharing.
I have, so both of my group recorded.
Let me just stop recording, okay?
Okay, so
Good idea?
sure.